Hello everybody, welcome back to this second part. Now for me there's no doubt whatsoever that Andy Colburn is definitely not, or definitely was not, a member of the assassinations unit. He is far too incompetent. He didn't even know that phone calls back to dispatch were recorded. It was Remiker that actually let slip during the pre-trial hearings that not just radio calls but phone calls are recorded, and that's how Dean and Jerry were able to get hold of that phone call, Sam William Henry 582, when he calls it in. No, I don't think there's any doubt that Colburn is not a member of the assassinations unit. Lenk and Peterson, they definitely fill me with confidence that they could absolutely be members of the assassinations unit. And what I find very interesting is the fact that Jim Lenk was so keen to offer Colburn support in the 2006 sheriff election, in which Andy Colburn, as a mere sergeant, was trying to leapfrog all the other candidates, if you like, including Robert Herman, who was the next taxi on the rank to become sheriff, and obviously did become sheriff. But I find it very, very interesting that Andy Colburn felt that he could get so much support from Jim Lenk that he actually went for that, or maybe Jim Lenk convinced him. But anyway, enough about Manitowoc Sheriff's Department. They are my number one suspects. Because, as I say, it's such a coincidence. It's too good a coincidence. But it's fair to say that if coincidences didn't occur, it would be a strange world, wouldn't it? And I do recall many a time speaking with Sheriff Herman where he said, you know, I don't know anything at all about this, what you're on about. It's nothing that concerns me, because I wasn't involved in the case at all. It was Calumet County that were dealing with the case. So if we take him on his word that her disappearance had nothing to do with them, then we move on to theory number 2, which of course is Ryan Hillegas. And what I would say about that is that I do like, as does a lot of the UK, the Green Bay Packers are one of the most popular American football teams in the UK. I like obviously Charlie Bounds very much and his Manitowoc Minute. I like everybody who voted to get rid of Scott Walker by various means. I believe some people who couldn't bring themselves to vote for Evers, they simply voted for Stephen Avery. They could apparently put his name on the voting slip. so that was quite good. But I'm sorry, Charlie, there is one member of the Green Bay Packers who I immensely dislike, and that of course is the video technician Mike Holbach. Why? Because of a couple of things in particular. Firstly, when Making a Murderer first came out, both Robert Herman and Scott Walker, they both criticised Making a Murderer and then had to concede that they hadn't actually seen it. And of course that reminds us very much of Mike Holbach at the foot of the steps to the Manitowoc courthouse, saying, oh, all you need to do is just pop in the video of Brendan's confession and you've got it all there. And then Emily Matasic says, well, have you watched it? He says, no, he hasn't watched it yet. Very odd. Also the fact that he knew that his sister was dead when she was only a missing person. He uses the term the grieving process. And of course, Ryan and Mike are like thick as thieves, aren't they? Now, statistically, number one suspect is, of course, Ryan. So why no investigation of him? Did the investigators know that it wasn't him? Therefore, how did they know it wasn't him? Or did they know that it was him, but simply used him? And these are things that we're going to have to find out. That hopefully these will be forthcoming in the fullness of time. Certainly, as far as the day planner, how did it end up in his possession? And apparently, what happened was it was a friend of Teresa that informed the investigators, Calumet, that Ryan had it. Again, that raises some very interesting questions. But I'm not going to cover all of the stuff about Ryan. There have been some very, very good videos done about Ryan Hillegas by various people. To name but one, Ericose. Just type in Ericose, Ryan Hillegas. I think he's done one called He's a Suspicious Fellow, and others along those lines. So finally, I'm going to keep this very short. There's theory number 3. It is my third choice, if you like. All I can say about Bobby Dassey is, at the very least, I hope, sincerely hope, that he is dealt with appropriately, not just for what was on the computer, but also for trying to help bury his uncle alive, and the collateral damage to Brendan, to put his own brother away for potentially 40 odd years. I think 48 years, is it not? Something like that. No, it comes out in 2048. That's another 30 years time. Gee whiz, it is simply mind-boggling, isn't it? That, and yet people have told me that this is the sort of thing that sometimes a brother would do to somebody else if they were placed in a situation. I'm reminded of the book by Jerry Buting, where he talks about the fact that his client, Ralph Armstrong, it wasn't him that had done the crime, it was his brother, and it took many, many years to unravel. But anyway, there you go. Obviously, we need far more facts on this. All I'm saying is that, for me, the order would be Manitowoc Sheriff's Department, Ryan Hillegas, Bobby, and then you can add on, like Sir Scott Taddick. He's very suspicious because he hasn't come forward and offered any assistance. Scott Blowdorn, Michael Osmondson. So I don't think I'm saying anything too controversial here, but that's what it's looking like. As regards the Teresa simply gone missing theory, well, that's definitely up there with number 1, Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. We still do not have any conclusive evidence as to whose those bones are, and yet we have a very suspicious circumstances regarding Carmen Bootwell, and the fact that I believe that her family are going to be filing some sort of civil suit against Manitowoc for the way that they were treated, particularly in the fact that I believe that they weren't given Carmen's ashes for about a month. Obviously, there's clearly some terrible things going on and have took place over there in eastern central Wisconsin. Anyway, I've kept you long enough. Hopefully the dude will have another video coming up shortly, another one of his Texas law runs and another one of his live runs. I particularly enjoyed seeing Stacey, listening to him, and wasn't it great to hear him playing one of his songs, a new song live on Ericose, an exclusive for the dude. Anyway, we'll catch you again soon. Bye for now.